Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in to MoviePOP, and today we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman 1984. Right off the bat, I want to start with my expectations for this film. Now, I've been watching the trailers, what was it, DC fandom, all the promotional material since the beginning of this year. Wonder Woman 1984, of course, if you haven't heard, is going to be released on Christmas Day on HBO Max and a simultaneous release in theaters. But guess what? Your boy got the scoop on this super early. So let's talk about that. All right, so let's get the pros out of the way. The acting in this film, of course, is top-notch. We've got Chris Pine, Gal Gadot, and of course, my favorite, Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal, really a show-stopping scene stealer in his portrayal of Maxwell Lord. Fight choreography, pretty freaking amazing. I thought the CGI blended with the practical effects was really a sight to be seen, especially on a big format screen like IMAX. The score, of course, is nothing short of amazing, nothing less than what you'd expect from a Hans Zimmer score. And the CGI, of course, I thought did not cross the uncanny valley. But of course, guys, you know there are going to be some cons, and leading into the CGI and the fight choreography, I'm going to say the editor for this film, or whoever was editing the action, not so good. There are often times where you're watching these wide-angle shots of the fight scenes, and I'm really into it, and then, you know, you're cutting in between like close-ups, medium shots. It was a bit jarring, so that was points off for that. Now, this kind of falls in between a pro and a con, depending whether or not you like this kind of thing. I think this film really had a lot of, let's call it 80s cheese, right? Now, when I watched this, I was like, wow, this is very melodramatic on a very cheesy level. But now, after having seen the film and letting it sink in, I'm thinking it's more of an homage, kind of a callback to the kind of cheese we would see in these superhero films in the 80s, most particularly Superman. And, you know, there is a MacGuffin in this film that's kind of the reason why all these supernatural things are happening in regards to Pedro Pascal's character, Maxwell Lord, and how he's granting everyone their wish. Anything you can imagine, you can have it. Like that whole thing. The MacGuffin, the internal logic behind how it works didn't really make sense for reasons I won't get into, but it was something I did definitely catch hold of watching this film, and it kind of bothered me. And lastly, the runtime, completely unwarranted. Guys, this movie is sitting at a chunky 2.5 hours, and it definitely felt like it after a bit. It dragged at some points, or towards the end, maybe dragged a bit for me too. It definitely was an issue. I think the editing for the film in terms of the runtime could have been snipped down a bit, trimmed the fat, you know. So overall, my thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984, there is a central core message in this movie. It's a moral message that simultaneously serves as the antagonist for the film. And that is, be careful what you wish for. And funny enough, I am feeling like Maxwell Lord granted my monkey paw wish, and I'm kind of regretting it, and I want to take it back after watching this movie. But overall, I'm going to say Wonder Woman 1984 is going to get a resounding 3.5 bags of popcorn out of 5. That's a 70%. It is definitely COVID approved, especially because there's nothing else to watch. So, guys, when you get a chance to watch it on HBO Max or in theaters, expect probably about a pretty decent superhero movie. All right, that's it. See you guys whenever the next movie comes out in theaters.